Welcome to today's episode of Talking Shop. Why it only takes Rach 30 seconds to spot an auto repair shop that is in trouble. I'm Dean from the Workshop Whisperer. This is the original Workshop Whisperer herself, Rachael Evans. Rach, tell us, why does it only take you 30 seconds to spot an auto repair shop that's in trouble?
Experience and having seen the same patterns over and over again over the last 12 years as we have helped more than 10,000 shops to improve their business performance and ultimately help shop owners just like you to go on to lead a better life. But the reason these days that it only takes 30 seconds when we first see someone's profit and loss is because just about everything you need to know in the first instance is just sitting in that top section of your profit and loss that is looking at all of your revenue and your cost of goods sold. And when we take that figure that's sitting there as gross profit and we measure that as a percentage of your overall revenue, we very quickly can see whether a business is in trouble or not based on our industry exclusive benchmarks for what we know a solidly profitable shop will show up with in terms of their gross profit margin. So a solidly profitable shop is going to be sitting between 58 and 62% GP. And if you're not there, and most shops aren't when they come to the Workshop Whisperer, many of them when they come into the engine room program are sitting somewhere between 30 and 45%, so quite away from where you need to be. Many of those businesses are struggling as much as they are because they are so far from the gross profit benchmark that they just don't have enough money to run the operating side of the business, which is everything that happens under your gross profit line.
So if you don't charge enough for labour on the hours that you sell, if you don't put enough margin onto the parts, the products that you sell, then what you're saying is you're simply not going to have enough to start with, and therefore you won't ever be able to hit your true net profit number or have enough money in the bank for your operating expenses. Is that right?
That is correct. And it's not just if you're charging enough for labour, it is that you are charging out all of your labour hours. Both of those things need to be optimal for you to be able to achieve your gross profit margin benchmark. So 30 seconds is all it takes. 2 eyes on your profit and loss to immediately identify what is likely your biggest issue financially in your business. And from there, it's a process of filtering. Is it the labour side? Is it the GP, the parts side? Is it both? And then knowing what levers to pull, which we do at the Workshop Whisperer, to help you transform that result that you're getting so that you can run your business as it should be running. You have the financial result that you've always desired and a life that reflects that.
Yeah, it's we work out how we can help you to pour more in, but more importantly, where the money's leaking out, so we can look inside your business, fix those holes for good, and finally start to see, your bottom line, your back pocket filling up with money. One thing I want to ask just before we go, we've seen all manner of profit and loss reports, the actual documents that get presented by an accountant. What's one suggestion you would have for someone listening to today's episode, this episode now, that they should ask their accountant or request from their accountant? So as the auto repair shop owner, you could look at your P&L and start to get a feel for, okay, yeah, we're going okay.
I think the first thing you've got to remember is that your accountant will set up your P&L to suit them, not necessarily you, which means that you could have a bunch of stuff sitting up in that top section of the P&L that isn't necessarily helpful for you when you're trying to measure yourself against the benchmarks. But 101 for profit and loss is that your income lines are separated. Many accountants will just set you up with one line for revenue. And when that happens, you can't see the difference between your labor revenue and your parts revenue. So some of you would have tackled that a long time ago and it's been sitting correctly on your P&L for a while. But for others, where somebody's set up your management software, so something like Mechanic Desk, for instance, and connected it to Xero, it would be feeding through initially as one revenue line if it wasn't set up by somebody savvy knowing, hey, it's really important that your labor income is separated from your parts income. So check your P&L and make sure that it is set out with all of the lines you use to bring revenue into the business, not just one.
There you go. And maybe on the next episode, we'll start talking into spanners. But probably not.
Definitely not.
See you on the next episode of Talking Shop.